Tony D and Little Joan in a Screenwriter's Rant on Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse. The new trailer has dropped, and it's a whole lot of Spider-Man. Remember, Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and Miles Morales is Miles Morales. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links are in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 10 available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. I feel like Miles Morales is just the new Spider-Man. That's, they just decided, well, we can't keep retelling the same Peter Parker tale. Let's just tell basically the same story with just another kid. Which is fine. I mean, everybody likes this character, and that's cool. I hear the first movie, which I still haven't seen, was pretty good. So this is, if you can't get enough Spider-Man, there you go. There you go, everybody. Like 10 million Spider-Man. That's what this is going to be. Like, that's what they should have called the movie. 10 million Spider-Man. Here's a female Spider-Girl. I'm not sure which one. Is she supposed to be Spider-Gwen? This is Marvel, I think, taking all they can from their IPs and just expanding it. Because Spider-Man was not, in my view, meant to be expanded this far. This is Spider-Man, what is it, 2087, 2027, 2032? I forget. The future Spider-Man. He was okay. So, when is it coming out? I forget. It's coming soon, I think. Coming soon. I don't mind it. It's fine. It's fine, whatever. I'm sure there's an evil Spider-Man in here. It's a big dramatic scene between Miles and I assume his mother? Is that his mother? I don't read Miles Morales. It's after my time of reading Spider-Man. I kind of read Spider-Man until I got sick of him. The final story for me was the death of Harry Osborn Jr., which was kind of not a good story. it just was lazy. I felt part of the problem with comics and to some extent movies is they just keep beating these IPs to death, and again they won't add anything new, because if you add something new in this, first off, whose idea are you going to use, right? You can't just add anybody's idea, because what if it fails? They want to guarantee that this is going to be a blockbuster. So they guarantee themselves at least that the movie won't fail by saying, well, let's just take Spider-Man and give him a different guy. Right? Miles Morales. And they already tested him in the comics, and he's pretty popular. So, yeah. Whatever. Black Spider-Man. I get it. But if you were to say, pitch to even Marvel, and I used to pitch at Marvel and DC fairly consistently, I would pitch them new characters. They kind of don't want them. The vibe is no, take an old IP that we used to have and bring them back in a new way. Now, if you've worked there a while and you have a name, they might, then take some new stuff from you, because then they could sell it based on your name. Obviously Chris Claremont had a bit of a pull. He did Sovereign 7, which was just basically his version of X-Men. It was okay, It was a million characters, and like none of them I really got into, because they all felt like knockoffs of the X-Men. And that's part of the problem too. It's like you pitch and pitch and pitch, and well, what do the higher ups want? Well, they want something that they know they can sell, and what do they know they can sell? Well, stuff you already have. And so you end up, even when you get new characters, you end up with a variation of Wildcats, which was a variation of X-Men, and which is a variation maybe on the Justice League, and Teen Titans, which was a variation. They wanted their own X-Men over DC, and Teen Titans was the closest thing. That's not what fans want. Fans want new stuff. Now, that's always a risk. And there are probably dozens of IPs from Marvel you're never going to see because they're just stupid characters. Or they just never took off for one reason or another. They might be perfectly fine, but because they didn't take off, nobody knows who the hell they are. And the only reason to bring them back is because, well, we own them. And it won't cost us anything. Whereas if they hired somebody with really good credits even, they're going to have to pay them more, and they're going to have to pay them more royalties. So I don't have a problem specifically with Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse, but you know, it doesn't Spider-Man is such a popular character. Everybody loves Spider-Man, and I think I could go into various reasons why. This is again a shadow of a shadow of a shadow. So because Miles essentially is like really the first degree away from Spider-Man, kinda. He's, you know, you could say not as popular as the original Spider-Man, but that still would make him pretty popular if he was close to Spider-Man and he got part of the audience. You see what I'm saying? They'll do this again, I'm sure. Like Spider-Gwen is kind of popular, but not as popular as Miles Morales. So plot-wise, it seems to be the first act. It's about, I guess, his mom worried about him and doing all this spider stuff, and he's got to take care of himself, she says. And then second act, another crisis in the Spiderverse, and Miles is summoned, and this time there are more Spidermen. And then he ends up fighting them all for some reason. I don't know. And then, you know, and you bring back Peter Parker, Spider-Man in a bathrobe, and a bunch of others. And I don't know. This may be too much, but the first movie was successful, and now everything's a franchise, so they're going to do this again. And people will go see it. I mean, you know, Spider-Man No Way Home's huge, huge movie. This is, I mean, it's kind of a knockoff, but quality knockoff, I'll say. You know, I hear the first movie's really great. I would even see it if it comes across my, you know, timeline for free. I wouldn't mind watching it. I probably wouldn't go out of my way. I'm a little too old for Spider-Man. Not really in the demo. I like Spider-Man. I went to go see No Way Home. Miles Morales still feels like an interloper to me because it's not Peter Parker. So I want Peter Parker Spider-Man because that's what I grew up on. I understand why people might like Miles Morales Spider-Man. I think from a corporate standpoint, it's like, oh, now we got two Spider-Man. You know, and I understand totally why Sony's going down that path because they only have the characters in the Spider universe. This is why Venom is his own guy. This is why he's doing his own movies because, yeah, he's yet another IP. This is why Morbius got a whole movie, and I don't know, the Man-Wolf is getting a movie, I guess, or Werewolf by Night. Werewolf by Night got his TV show thing, whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, I think it'll be fine. If you like the first movie, I'm sure this will be fine. I can't see it being horrible because it's probably the same crew that did the first movie. So, how much worse could it be? I mean, it's not particularly woke. I mean, beyond the fact that the whole concept really is kind of woke, but yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll just be Peter Parker Spider-Man if he was black, essentially. I mean, yeah, I know. He's got a different story. He's got different powers. Okay, calm down. But it's basically the same kind of story. Basically. And, you know, it's fine. It's a good story. Variations on it are fine. I think, you know, it would be more fun to do new things, to give Spider-Man a new buddy who maybe spins off into his own action movie or something. Um, there were a lot of team ups in the Marvel universe, and Spider-Man was a part of that team up. So I don't know. This is I guess this is the spider machine that holds the whole universe together. Uh, Maybe this will tie into Madam Web because they're trying to make that a thing. Um, I don't know. I think it's too much Spider-Man. You know, they did a variation of this in the old Spider-Man cartoon, and the premise was Spider-Man meets a girl who has his powers, and then it turns out she's from an alien race of people. They're all Spider-Men and women, and then they're living in a giant spaceship, and Peter helps them. I don't know, restart the spaceship or something, and then eventually he could go with them and be normal because he'd be just like them, but he decides to stay back on Earth, and it's kind of a nice story. But this feels a lot like that too, right? There's a million Spider-Men, but you have to keep upping the ante in movies like this. So this is, I think, the wrong path to go down if you like Miles Morales, because it kind of, although it centers around him, you need to keep adding more Spider-Man. You need to keep adding more and more to make this work. Now, sure, you could do a cartoon where it's just Miles Morales fighting, I don't know, the Rhino or whoever he fights, and regular Miles Morales Spider-Man. It's probably not going to be as insane and as big as this movie. And that's where you paint yourself in a corner creatively and you can't really get out. So enjoy it, I guess. I might watch it. I think it'll do fine. Since the first one did good. I don't think there's a lot of people who went to the first one and said, this kind of sucks. I think most of the people, I heard good things. Almost every nerd I talked to after the first movie liked this movie. I can't think of a single one who said, no. Everybody likes the character and the concept. However, they did talk about Peter Parker a lot in those reviews, like how awesome it was to see Peter Parker, older Spider-Man or whatever. I think Stan Lee makes a brief cameo as the guy who, he sells him his spider suit. So, this will be fun. I might watch it. Again, it would have to come across one of my streaming platforms. Probably not going to go to the theaters, but don't go by me. Don't go by me. All right, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. I will be at the Kings Road Brewery tomorrow night, Wednesday, in Haddonfield, New Jersey, for my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil from 6 to 8. Hope to see you there, and we'll see you